completely unplanned. If you are watching this, you should thank yourself lucky, because what we're about to do now is show you an organic system that if you set it up correctly, do 90 minutes a day, you should be able to get leads. Now, where this becomes frustrating for a lot of people, not just videographers and creative people, but across the board businesses, is when you have to do this stuff yourself. The trick is to be able to have someone else do this for you. That's the real trick. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through. Now, a lot of you that are going to get this video would have already experienced me doing this to you. But it wasn't me. It was my appointment setup. And so we're going to show you how this system works in terms of lead generation. So if you're wanting to get better leads, if you're wanting to grow your business, before I even go into the lead generation system, because I have my head growth consultant here who specializes in, he takes care of the hustle room, understands the strategies ins and outs, have been trained by myself, and now pretty much runs my own team and also trains the students that come into Clark Academy. So Ethan, welcome. Now, when we go into this, please understand, you're getting this video. We have not planned it. There's no planning involved in this. It's the way we roll. We just like to keep it nice and 100 and authentic. And so you're going to see mistakes. So just allow for it. Ethan, if you can get rid of all the things on your computer and get ready to share your computer. But this is a lead gen system. We put out a webinar earlier before, and we gave you the theory of it, you know, farm, the film and story system, if you got it. But a lot of people replied back to us and said, can we see it in action? So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a niche. Now, before this works, you need to understand this only works is if you're dialed in and have a niche. If you're specialized, you have to be hyper specialized, because if you're not specialized, there's just no way that this is going to work. It just will not work. Okay, because you're too general. People will be like left field. They need to be able to check your profile and go, I specialize in, and we're going to choose builders as the chosen niche. You need to say something on the lines of, like, if you are picking builders as one, it would be, I specialize in visual storytelling for builders. Now, you would have a better offer if you were working directly with Clout, because we know that time, money, and freedom are the three things that everybody wants. So we would tailor a message more around that. So that's the first protocol. You must be niched in. And if you don't know how to niche down, come to Clark Academy. You can join with us and we'll show you how to do that. We can do it within a week, within 2 weeks, and most times we can do it in one session. It takes about 2 hours. It's one of the biggest business decisions you will ever make in your business career. And yeah, so Ethan, you totally unprepared, brother, I know. Didn't even give you time to do your hair.
I can make it work.
You can make it
I
work.
can make it work.
Okay, cool. I'll let you
If you just
share.
enable screen, I'll dive into sort of the process. So
Yeah,
really,
so we'll go through the full
yep, you go.
We'll go through the full acronym of film and story. We're not obviously going to go into story. We can't, but
start in a general.
Yeah.
I'll create a so I'll break down the acronym now, and I'll write it all out, and I'll break it down. No, that's
leave a message, leave a comment.
Yeah, let's leave it. Yeah.
And then message director. Yep.
And then travel first. Fair enough. revenue. Yeah. So really what this is it's two frameworks that make up our outreach method. So farm is basically finding your clients,
And look,
which we'll
when you
show you
come,
in the building niche.
just for something here, like when you come into academy, when you come into the academy, we actually get you to write out 100 dream clients that you want to work with. So we get a specific database already, the ones we want to target, the ones we would love to work with. And that's important because that saves a lot of time. Farming is one of the most time consuming things to do. You've got to look for the clients, but we're going to show you an exact system on how you can find them through social, particularly through LinkedIn. And this one is going to be a LinkedIn strategy for you to help you find the perfect client. Again, all things aligned by being niched down. Being hyper specialized is extreme. And I'll just quickly say this for those of you who don't understand why specializing is so important. Let's say you had a heart problem. Would you want a general doctor to work on your heart, or would you want a heart specialist? And then you got to ask yourself, who would you pay more? Who would your insurance company pay more? For those of you in the West world that has insurance, who would pay more? And that's the real question here. It's like, how, if you want to 10x your business and you want to charge premium, the more specialized you are, the more you can charge. But not only can you charge more, it becomes super easy to be able to find your ideal client. Carry on, Ethan. Sorry.
So farm is, it's identifying that ideal client in social media. Now, we're going to use a general LinkedIn. Same thing we can do across Instagram. And then even for builders, some of the students inside the academy gave a breakdown about how they broke into the builders niche, where it was going on stories, finding local builders and offering just drone footage. Because typically your average builder, when they're on a build site, they'll be on the roof, they'll show they start early in the morning, they'll be showing the sunset. Now that's a niche specific angle to get in with that niche, but each individual niche will have its own ways, and you'll learn. And that's also become a part of becoming that proper heart specialist of your industry. It's knowing these little things that won't work for a plastic surgeon, that won't work for a coach, a speaker, but will work for builders specifically. But it's finding that sort of farm, so working out where they live. Is it Instagram? Is it LinkedIn? Is it various other platforms? Then it's finding something specific that you love about their content. So finding a specific hook. This approach also extends to our 2-hook email outreach strategy. Then it's going into leaving a comment. So
which we can talk about later. We can share that one later on another episode.
So then it's going into leaving a comment, then messaging direct. Leaving a comment meaning you drop a compliment and then a question to engage them publicly, create some level of public pressure. And also they're happy to respond because it helps with their engagement. And then it's messaging direct, whether that be in the DMs on Instagram or for LinkedIn, adding a specific message to your connection message. So then once you're in the DMs, story is your qualifying framework. Now, if you're at the beginning stages of building your business and your video business, really all you're looking for is those first two in the DMs. What's their struggle? What's their pain point? And what's their goal? As you fill out your calendar, I typically recommend starting with those two, and then we can work on revenue, yearning, qualifying them harder, and creating a higher quality prospect. Because for the most part, revenue you can define through other characteristics. Employee headcount on their profile, what type of client they're working with. So for builders, what size build are they working on? And then owner for LinkedIn, you can define by their job title on their account or who you're speaking with. So those final three, you can sort of define or pre-qualify in various ways. So while not keeping too heavy in the theory, we'll jump into it. So the first type of way, typically if you don't have Sales Navigator. Now, if you have Sales Navigator, there's an entirely different approach. But for the most part, Sales nav is fairly expensive, so we'll keep without sales nav. It's going into hashtags. So I'll start with construction as the first one, and go to posts is where you're looking. So we're going to go to posts, sort by latest, and then outside the post. Yep. So we're looking for the latest posts with the hashtag construction.
For you watching back home, just please appreciate this is unplanned. I just jumped on a Zoom call and said, look, can we just show can we show our audience, you, the person watching this, can we just show them an outreach, some outreach methods to get them going? Because we're getting a lot of people that we talk to, and specifically probably yourself, where you're struggling with outreach, struggling to generate leads, and you may already be niche down and just don't know this method. But please understand, this is off the cuff, totally unprepared and planned.
So what I'm going to do here is add some extra industries from the author. So this will help us niche down even more our types of content so we're only looking for specifically from construction. We're not looking for consultants, equipment suppliers. It's more specific to the niche. So we'll show the results. Now, the downside of this approach is obviously you've got to be looking for so for us, I'm based in Australia. So I'm looking for niche specific here in Australia. So University of Liverpool wouldn't be a fit. So I'm looking at things like the job title here. In terms of speed, I'm looking for specific clients in my region. So it'd be, University of Liverpool, not a fit. I'm just sort of highlighting their profiles, going through and just quickly, I'm probably going to grab 5 to 10, just quickly in terms of clients. And then from there, qualify them once I've sort of found them. So I think that industries is over niching it, not giving me enough. So I'm just going to quickly skim through. Doesn't look like the right fit. Research Foundation, that's the back end there. That's a German company. Now, the issue for me, I might swap from latest because I'm in Australia. Latest, it's currently sort of middle of the day for Europe. So I'm getting a lot of European matches. So top matches, we'll go from there. So those are our existing, that's New South Wales. So that's Australia. That's building niche. Board director APAC. So that is Australia Pacific. So I'll find that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grab a couple more. ASX. Anastasia Palacio is the minister. We'll keep going. And then
what we're going to do on here is just grab a few profiles. So hashtag find something. But I guess the method that you're going to see and sort of the way to do this is we're just going to show you a few profiles on exactly how we would comment or compliment or say, I love this to start the conversation going, because this is the sort of the very first part of getting someone's attention. And when you do it publicly, it's not that it forces people to you know, when somebody comments, when somebody compliments you or says, I love this about you, and actually takes the time to look through your profile, it's very hard to ignore that. It's extremely hard to ignore that. And so this conversation then gets to be started. And so what we'll do is we'll show you, if you go on just a few, I mean, it's pretty straightforward how to find people. Let's give them where it really matters, because this is pretty much where it truly matters, is when we make that very first contact with the lead.
Yeah, the only other one that I'll highlight purely because it's LinkedIn specific is services. So in terms of that, people offering surveying. So if you've got service categories, you can see here, interior design, architecture, landscape design. So these are the types of services people are advertising on LinkedIn. That's another way of finding people inside the niche where you're finding niche specific audiences. Now, I typically like to do it in batches of grabbing a bunch and then qualifying them. So what I'll do is I'll quickly go through it and then we'll do 2 or 3 complement questions so you can get an idea of the concept. So inside of the construction space, what I'm looking for here is in terms of going back to that story qualification, what you can do here is revenue and owner, you can define by the size of the business. And as you get more sales calls, you'll be able to define that better and better and better. So if you get on a sales call, all right, if we say we get on a sales call with Beyond, they've got 4 employees. If they say they've got a 5K budget, 10K budget, you know, then roughly most companies with 4 employees in this industry, at least that 5 to 10K range. So you're just giving yourself a pattern and training yourself on what is your ideal client avatar and what do they look like on the website. So for employees, what I'm looking for here is who is the owner. So who's the person, although we reached out to Rick, who is going to be the person that's going to have the approval on the budget? He's the business manager, but that's the national operations manager. In terms of title, a little bit more authoritative. And then from there, Dean might be the owner. We'll just go and check the profile.
You're looking for the highest ranking member in organization. And then what you're doing is you're looking to start a conversation.
The other part of it as well, obviously, it's a balance between posting frequency. So they posted 8 months ago. It's also frequency on, 4 months. So that would be, and then business manager, sales and marketing.
Reposted 7 minutes ago.
Yeah. So he would be my pick because he's far enough up the family tree that he's got a chance to be, and he's only joined the business recently.
That one on the mental health might be a good one to comment on.
Yeah. So we'll go through it. I'm over qualifying here for this example, just for context, Michael. So if you even want to go so far as going to the website, finding the owner of the business. I think Rick is the right person, but just so you have an idea. All right, so there's 3 people in the video. Rick is there in the video, so I can feel fairly comfortable that he's going to have some say, or any of these 3. So he'll have some say, or at least get us in the door to conversing with those decision makers. So what we'll do from here, I know there's some non-fits here as well. So immediately there, I'm looking at location. He's not a fit because he's in Canada. Queensland, dry lining limiter, commercial director. They don't really, and then you can see here in terms of profile, he's not taking it seriously. Chief kebab technologist. What I'd be looking for here is, are there any other decision makers? Commercial director. So Craig would be the best one, but his profile isn't super up to date. So their seriousness around their branding is also a conversation. It's just quick checks. And so not a fit. We'll go back to Rick. So that's sort of what you're looking for as you're building that pattern of your ideal client avatar and who to look for. And there's just little bits and pieces you can look at. We'll go to Rick. We'll go back and we'll do the complement question portion. So what you want to do here is you want to like 3 to 5 posts, sort of going through, and you're finding something that you can uniquely drop a compliment question on. So you can see there's a couple of mental health. There's two angles I can see here. You're either complimenting on the mental health, or it looks like they've got some level of sponsorship with the with AFL teams. So player sponsor for this person here. And then there's obviously the AFL angle there as well. But this one's relatively fresh, only 10 minutes ago. So we'll drop a compliment on that. Prepare the post, mental health, 5 mental health coaching tips, stresses, life courtesy. So I won't give too much of a deep read of this, because as you do this more often, what you're wanting to do is build a sort of bank or cache of general compliment questions that you can use across multiple posts that will apply to your industry. So if it's building amazing site,
obviously when you're doing stuff like that compliment question, you also want to make sure that you are giving some genuine compliments as well, because people can feel the authenticity as well. So you want to try and make it as clean, as nice as possible, really genuinely. But I mean, if you can't find anything, a good question to ask is how long, the builders could be, how long did this take to make? Would be a question. The I love comment would be something on the lines of like, I love the color of these tiles and this bathroom, or the structure of this building. How long did it take to make? A time question is always great to ask, you know, how long did this take to service? How long did this take to ship? How long did this take to make? Kind of thing is a really good general sort of question you can ask. And then what the key is after they've answered that question is, I've just shot you a DM. So the reply, once they've replied to you and said, oh, it took 3 months to build, we had a fantastic time making it, and it's like, awesome, I've just shot you a DM. What we're doing now is we're trying to redirect their attention over to the DMs. And so if we go to the DMs now, and Ethan, if we can just talk a little bit, just to keep the pacing going. So I don't want to make this too long-winded. It's getting too long-winded. So once we've done the I love this comment, which could be a build, or, you know, I love the awareness you're bringing to mental health. Are you guys a sponsor? Could be a question. Anything, invaluable tips here, something on the lines of that. Anything that kind of sparks a conversation. Once they answer, then you can say to them, look, we've just shot you a DM. And the DM could be, how long have you been in business for? How long has your business been operating? What's the goals for the next 6 months? And then what we're doing is we're trying to spark a conversation with them in the DMs to talk about, are they having any problems with content? Are they having any issues with visual storytelling? Are they having any issues with their, you know, internal video training, or whatever it is that you as a video production company, in terms of your niche and offer, ask? You want to build a script or build a set of questions that are repeatable, that then can be asked in the DMs. And then all that leads to is a Zoom call or a coffee catch up or some kind of first initial meeting where you find out more and you start to form a bond with the client. That is one of the strongest social media outreach systems. Now, where this gets, and you can stop sharing the screen now because I think we've shared enough. Where I think that this becomes really powerful is the story structure with a story acronym where you're looking for struggle and thirst. We want to focus our questions on them two particular things, as Ethan said, but also we need to know that they are the owner or decision maker, as he was looking for the highest ranking person in that company. We want to know that there's a yearning. What that yearning stands for is this a now thing or a later thing? And then the last thing we want to know is they do have money, they have revenue to invest. And so at Clark Academy, we help you build them questions out. We help you sort of develop a script. And then once that script's developed, then what we try to do, and what we do is get you to hire an appointment setter. An appointment setter is someone that specializes in all your social media sort of outreach. So this thing is happening simultaneously. So you're just waking up to appointments booked in your calendar. And so this is where it gets really, really special, is if you are niche down, you are dialed in, you have great sort of systematic way of looking for people through hashtags and other methods that we can share with you. We could obviously share with you if you look at working with us, but it's very easy to find people on social media through, you know, just looking through hashtags and location, and there's lots of different ways to find people. But having a set of questions and compliments ready to go that are genuine and curious in nature, and then training a setter to do that for you is where you're going to see a massive sort of automation system start to emerge in your business, where you start to actually wake up to Zoom calls, you start to wake up to coffee meetings. It's like, whoa, this is all happening now in automation, and that's what we help you build in Cloud Academy. So I hope this was useful. Ethan, sorry for putting you on the spot, brother.
All good.
Nothing new.
Not the first
All
time.
right.
I'm sure it won't be the
All right.
yeah.
Put this out. Hopefully this will inspire some people. I'll stop the recording.